Hey, what's going on, guys? Craft Businessman here. Today we're going to be addressing something that's very near and dear to my heart, which is the homeless population. So, there's a lot of myths and a lot of tropes that get thrown around when addressing the core of the homelessness crisis. Some people would say that the crisis is that we don't have enough houses. Like, we just simply don't have enough buildings that have like four walls and a ceiling. That's not the issue. It's not the issue even remotely. Now, I'm speaking specifically about the States. I'm sure it's the same everywhere else, but I can't be certain because I don't live there. But the biggest problem that is contributing to the homelessness crisis is going to be drugs. It's drugs, like by and large, overwhelmingly so. And here's the thing. People will see a guy on the side of the road holding up a sign, saying, oh, hey, I'm broke dick and I can't do anything and please help me. Anything helps. God bless, blah, 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 blah. And what that does is that it elicits an emotional reaction. And it does so because you're not a monster. You recognize that you don't like seeing people in pain. You don't like seeing people like down and out. And you feel compelled to want to help them. Great. Congratulations, you have a pulse and you have empathy. So you're not, a serial killer, I guess. But don't be intentionally ignorant. Don't be willfully ignorant about the situation. I have a lot of experience dealing with the homeless, and here's why. I bought a shop, a commercial property, like in the epicenter of where the majority of homeless hang out in my city. And so I interact with them like every fucking day. Okay? And so there's a lot of stuff that I know firsthand. Not to mention the fact, well, I guess that'd be secondhand. I don't know. No, that'd be firsthand. Either way, I also was actually homeless at one point in time. Granted, this wasn't like the rest of the homeless situations. This was just a very, very weird and obscure thing that... very odd. We'll get into that another time. But... and it was not drug related. But... saw a post today. And it was displaying a German company that was trying to create this innovative backpack that turns into a tent that has lighting and solar panels and stuff so that you can sleep out of the elements, and it's high in compassion. But the thing is, we seem to have amnesia. We seem to not recognize that there are like dozens upon dozens of instances in which we've given people free housing, and it has been a terrible, terrible outcome almost instantaneously. So what do we derive from this? We derive that it's not an issue of not having the fucking building. Okay, it's not that, oh, well, no one's tried this before, or, oh, this was an isolated incident. It's not an isolated incident. It's not. It's if you give people, especially one particular group of people, which is those that make particularly bad choices over and over and over again, you give them free stuff, they're going to decimate it. They're going to continue to make the same exact bad choices they made because you haven't addressed the root of the problem. Problem isn't four walls and a ceiling. The guy doing the Fenty fold at the bus stop, his problem isn't that he doesn't have four walls and a ceiling. That's not the fucking issue. The issue is that he's on drugs. That's the issue. And then we can go into, the different, the different nuances of that, where it's like, oh, well, they have an addiction and they have, the mental health crisis and but let's slow it down. Let's break it down into a couple of different ways. So, to begin with, I want to do a little thought exercise. I want you guys to do this with me. If you are on the verge of becoming homeless, because people will always, always bring this up. They say, oh, studies say that most Americans are like one paycheck away from becoming homeless. It's like, okay, let's just take that for face value. I think it's probably been exaggerated. It's probably misleading because it's coming from the news, and the news always misleads everything. But let's just take that for what it is and say, okay, 100% true. What would you do? Because you're obviously not homeless right now, and you're. What would you do? Would you stay with a friend? Would you stay with your family? Would you work more hours? Would you sell some stuff that you own? Would you, what would you do? And then after you got this list together, I want you to make a list of what you would do. Then I want you to tell me why another human being is incapable of doing the same exact things that you would do. I can give you one. And that would be stay with family. Because not everybody's family is decent. So I can give you that. But as far as if one of the things on your list is I would stay with friends while I figure things out. I would stay with friends temporarily, like crash on their couch, save money while working so that I can get my own place. Why could another human being, an adult, not do that? Like, what's preventing another adult from having a friend in any capacity? Even they can even be an acquaintance. Like, so long as you haven't burnt a fucking bridge with them and you're not a complete dumbass or an untrustworthy fuckstain, people will let you stay with them temporarily. Like, I don't know why in this situation we always demonize everybody else and not the guy. Because it's like, here's what usually happens. Person is on drugs. They've burnt every bridge that they've ever had. And so people don't trust them around them because they're on fucking drugs. So they won't let them stay with them. That's what happens. It's not that everyone else is just such a mean person. They just won't help a person in need. No, they absolutely will. What planet are you living on? Are you kidding me? They will absolutely let you stay with them. Either that or your skills in terms of making friends are so bad that I don't know. I can't even fathom, because like even someone who has like very little social skills has people that would let them stay with them so long as they're not a threat to their family. But that's the thing, they always are. And so, okay, what's the other options? Okay, I would sell stuff. How do you not have any possessions? Like, how have you become an adult with zero possessions? Oh, there was a fire. What? In what capacity was there a fire in which you didn't have insurance? Because let's say you were renting, you're like required to have renter's insurance. Let's say you had a mortgage, you're required to have homeowner's insurance. So if there was a fire that took all your stuff, you should have a big fat like settlement check, like an insurance check. Unless you started the fire, again, that's bad choices. Like, I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to like glorify insurance companies. I hate insurance companies, but like, if you have insurance, like that's exactly what it's for, and like it decimated all of your possessions, they're gonna give you a check. It might not cover everything, but they'll give you something, so you have something of value that you can sell. So, like, it's amazing to me how we'll grant so many excuses in this context where it's like, dude, so you're trying to get me to believe that there is an adult in the United States that is just a unicorn. There's so many unicorns where they just so happen to have zero possessions as an adult because of some weird, obscure situation that was completely not their fault. They also have no friends, which is also completely not their fault. They don't have a job, which is completely not their fault. They can't get a job, even though, like, we can do a social experiment right the fuck now. And You place me, like, drop a pin anywhere in the United States, any fucking where there is a city of a fair size. I'm not even saying a major city, just of a decent size, where there's like 100,000 people or something like that, right? Because you're not really seeing homeless people in like these super rural areas. So, you know, in any of these cities where you're seeing huge swaths of homeless people, you find me anywhere, drop a pin, there will be, within a mile, there will be someplace hiring at an entry-level position. So you don't even need to have honed any fucking skills whatsoever, and there's still a place that will hire you. Which, of course, people will come back with, you have to have an address and a phone number in order to get hired. No, you don't. Or if they are requiring this, put your last known address, put the address you lived at when you were a kid, put fucking 56 West Dead Weasel Road. They don't give a shit. You're acting as though there's some sort of like private investigator ensuring that, you know, that, oh, well, whoa. If he doesn't have a fucking address, then the tasks we need done, we just don't need them done anymore. Fuck you. Like, they are not that fucking stringent about hiring people, especially at entry-level positions. We just need the fucking work done. We just need the fucking work done. We need someone that can fog a mirror and show the fuck up. That's what we need. And like, to try to imply that these people are incapable of doing this because of an address, like they're not going to hire you over an address. You're out of your mind. Put the last known address. Talk to the fucking hiring manager and say, hey, look, I'm in between situations right now. You know, I really just don't have a place to stay. Well, ask any friend, put the store's address. They don't care. They don't. Find me any place that gives a shit. And then like, oh, well, they still have to get their first check. You don't have a bank account as an adult? Doesn't even require anything. Fuck. More bad choices again. But even if you don't have a fucking bank account, send your first check to the store. Have them hold it at the store. They'll do that. This is for lack of trying. This is for lack of fucking trying. And people constantly trying to give these bailouts. It's not a fucking thing. It's a series of bad choices every single time. You say, oh, well, we don't have a phone number. The government will give you a free fucking phone. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? They set up those stupid fucking tents everywhere in the city. And you don't need shit. You need half of a pulse to get these goddamn phones. So what's the next excuse that we can just completely debunk? Like, it's ridiculous. Every place is hiring. So, going back to our thought experiment, what in this thought experiment, what can't a person do that's not a result of their bad fucking choices? Like, let's say they're disabled. It's literally illegal to discriminate against someone based off of physical disability. Are you kidding me? If they don't hire you, that's a fat fucking check you're receiving for discrimination. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, it's not about a lack of empathy. It's about an understanding that there are people that make terribly bad choices. There are people who will try to lie to you. It is not mean to understand that there are people who are lying, there are people who are lazy, there are people who just will not fucking try. Bailing them out of those situations does way more harm than good. We've got decades and decades and decades of information and fucking data proving this point beyond the shadow of a doubt. And then we move on to the next one, because this always seems to be the argument that we get to, where, you know, people will go like they're fucking skiing. And they'll just go from this excuse to this excuse to this excuse. And they'll say, what about... And it's like, okay, let's go to the next excuse. And I know you all know what's coming. What about homeless vets? Or they'll say, what about disabled vets? Disabled vet, right here. Disabled vet. Yeah. There's more fucking resources than I even know what to do with. They are throwing resources at you. If you literally just stagger into the VA and say, I need help. There will be like 20 people saying, oh my God, let's get you the fucking help you need. There's so many goddamn programs. Most of them close down due to lack of utilization. There's just not a need to keep them open because no one's fucking using them. So when you see a guy saying, oh, homeless vet, blah, 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 they're homeless by choice. There are so many fucking programs. And I'm willing to just say it, okay? They're either lying to you, which is literally a violation of the Stolen Valor laws because you're trying to impersonate a military member, serviceman, or veteran in order to acquire monetary gain. So that's literally Stolen Valor. Felony, if I'm not mistaken. Or they're a fucking scumbag. Because the other excuse isn't valid either. They say, oh, well, maybe they don't know about it. Nope. Not possible. Because here's the thing. Whether you are, no matter how you have separated from the military, they make you, they require you, that your appointed place of duty is a week-long seminar, which has changed names a couple of times. It was SEPS and TAPS, and then it was TRS, and then the Separation Readiness Seminar. It's whatever the hell you want to call it. They give you this big fat packet, and they tell you about all the benefits afforded to you when you leave, so they don't just pull the rug out from under you. I don't know how I can stress this enough. It's not Vietnam era anymore. They're not spitting on vets when they get back. That's not fucking what's happening. It's been fucking decades since anything even remotely close to that has been a thing. Okay, there's so many programs and benefits and shit to help veterans, specifically for these reasons. There are companies that have a preference to hiring veterans. Federal institutions are required to have a preference towards veterans. So, not an excuse. Not an excuse. Oh, what the guy's getting PTSD? Diagnosed with PTSD. Not an excuse. They've got so many fucking programs specifically for helping people with PTSD. They got free counseling. They got community counseling. They've got support groups. Not a fucking thing. Okay? What you're going to discover is that every single fucking excuse is just not valid. Homeless people are homeless by choice. You can try to say that not all of them, but it doesn't matter. It is such an overwhelming majority that I can even give you a pass on the ones that aren't homeless by choice, and we would still have 99% of it would still be an issue. So drop the act, because it's not empathy pretending that these aren't the core of the issue. Addressing the core of the issue is what's going to solve it. Okay, let's say I've been having a problem at work. I keep showing up late, but I'm blaming Bob, right? I'm blaming Bob for why I'm late for work. Okay, well, let's fucking reprimand Bob. Well, Bob's not the fucking problem. Bob has never been the problem. Problem is fucking me. So we do all this other stuff to fix Bob, and then what? Somehow, problem isn't solved.
Hi, baby. You're a sweet princess. I love you very much. She's a little baby. She's a little baby. I know. Oh my gosh.
Her name is Kalina, and it means love in Aboriginal Australian, or so we think. But she's just a little baby, and I love her very much.
Yes. You got shmoo on your eyes. Hi. Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
You made me forget what I was talking about, girl. That's okay.
This is what you should have empathy for, sympathy for, just unadulterated love for, because they have no malice. Other people, though, they make conscious choices such as doing drugs, and no one forced you, no one tackled you to the ground and stuck a crack pipe in your face. No one did that. You did that. But, that's what it was. Fixing Bob isn't fixing my issue. The issue continues to stand because you're trying to address the wrong thing. And this goes back to one of my favorite examples, one of my favorite fucking metaphors. You're trying to paint a car that doesn't start. You change out the fucking upholstery, the car still doesn't start. You give it new tires, the car doesn't start. You're not fucking fixing the problem. That's what I got for you guys today. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. I'm sure some of you are going to completely ignore everything that I said and just say, yeah, you're a piece of shit. But whatever. Just do it.